I still remember the silence. Not the kind that lingers after a joke falls flat or after a door closes too hard. No, this silence carried weight. It was the sound of a man watching his careful lies collapse in real time. And I was the one who pushed the first brick. Backstory setup. When I first met Daniel, my husband's brother, he had the charm of a man who thought he could disarm anyone with a smile. The kind of man who leaned too close when he spoke, who held your hand a second longer than he should. I chalked it up to his personality. My husband did too. For years, I convinced myself it was harmless. That is, until the texts began. Not to me, to her, his wife. Sweet, trusting Claire. A woman who thought she had won the jackpot marrying him. I used to envy her, until I saw what he really was. Discovery of betrayal. It started with the Parisian cake. Delivered to my door, tied with satin, a note tucked neatly beneath the ribbon. "Happy birthday, gorgeous. Indulge." Not signed, but I recognized the handwriting. I felt the slow burn of rage crawl under my skin. My husband was away on business. Daniel knew that. I didn't touch the cake. I just stared at it, studied it like evidence. 2 hours later, the phone rang. His voice was low, smooth, rehearsed. "Did you enjoy it?" My laugh was sharp, almost cruel. "Funny thing," I said. "Claire stopped by this morning. She ate the whole thing." The line went dead quiet. Then, a strangled scream ripped through the receiver before he hung up. That was the moment I knew. Whatever Daniel had planned for me, it wasn't indulgence, it was elimination. Shift in mindset. I didn't panic, I didn't cry. I sat down, opened my laptop, and began to dig. Bank statements, company records, emails he thought he'd deleted. I built a puzzle piece by piece. Offshore transfers, shell companies, payments that didn't make sense. He wasn't just a predator, he was sloppy. But sloppiness can be useful in the right hands. I learned to wait, to bide time, to play the loyal wife and doting sister-in-law. Every dinner, every family gathering, I tucked away details. I became invisible. And when men like Daniel think you're invisible, they stop guarding their weaknesses. Execution of the plan. The first step was simple, a sealed envelope to Claire. Inside, photographs of his late-night meetings with women who weren't her. Credit card receipts, hotel records. Enough to shatter her illusions in one breath. The second step was quieter, an anonymous tip to the company board, complete with a neat little package of his financial misdeeds. Embezzlement, fraud, money trails that led offshore. The third was personal. I changed the locks on our lake house, his favorite place to entertain his business associates. When he arrived with one of his conquests, drunk on arrogance, he found himself locked out in the rain, his belongings stacked neatly on the porch, a police cruiser idling at the end of the driveway. Every move was deliberate, calculated, irrefutable. Climax and confrontation. The final act came weeks later. He called me, voice frayed, desperation leaking through the cracks. "You did this." I didn't deny it. "You tried to kill me with that cake," I said. "But you made one mistake. You forgot I don't indulge." He inhaled sharply, like the weight of it was sinking in for the first time. "Claire," he started. "She knows," I cut him off. "About everything. She's filing. And the board? They've seen the numbers. By tomorrow morning, you won't have a wife, or a job, or a reputation." The line trembled with his breathing, shallow and erratic. He sounded like a man standing on the edge of a cliff, staring down into the void he dug for himself. "Why?" he whispered. "Because you underestimated me," I said, "and because justice tastes better than cake." Resolution and emotional release. The last time I saw him was in court. His tie was crooked, his skin pale, his arrogance stripped clean. Claire sat beside me, eyes dry, spine straight. For the first time, we looked at each other as allies, not rivals. The judge read the charges: fraud, embezzlement, attempted poisoning under investigation. Each word landed like a nail sealing his coffin. And I sat there, calm, not smiling, not gloating, just breathing. Revenge isn't loud. It doesn't need fireworks or confessions. It's precise, silent. I didn't need him to admit what he tried to do. His silence that night on the phone was admission enough. I walked out of that courtroom lighter than I'd felt in years. Not because I destroyed him, but because I reclaimed myself. In the end, Daniel gave me the greatest gift of all. Not the cake, not the illusion of desire, but the chance to remind him and myself that I was never prey. I was the hunter, and I always finish what I start.